Hello everyone, I'm Mari B, and today I'm going to show you how to upcycle an old hoodie and bring it new life. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to need some household bleach, some freezer paper, a squirt bottle, a small piece of cardboard, some rubber gloves, some sewing scissors or very sharp scissors, a small pair of scissors for seam ripping, a marker, an X-Acto blade, and some pins. I will also be using a sewing machine and an iron. And finally, we need a 100% cotton hoodie, and I will explain why it's important that it's cotton later. So the first thing we're going to need to do is grab our tiny scissors and start removing the pocket. We're going to do this by ripping the seams that attach it to the front of the hoodie. You can do this by pulling apart the two pieces of fabric and you'll find the little tiny threads. And eventually, once you've cut enough, it's going to be really easy to just rip off completely. For the rest of this, I sped it up because it's pretty much the same process. And I ended up actually ripping off the whole bottom of the sweatshirt to get to the bottom half of the pocket, but it doesn't matter because we're going to cut off the bottom of the sweater anyways. So here I am ripping off the last piece of the pocket, and we are going to set that aside for later. So as you can see, I have measured about 2 inches below where I want the hoodie to be hanging on my body, and I'm just going to cut that off. So next, I'm folding the bottom of the hoodie about 1 inch to 1.5 inches under to create a space for our drawstring to go. And then we're going to just pin it all the way around. This is where I decided to flip my hoodie inside out so that I could see what I was doing better and also make sure that everything was even. And now we're just going to sew a seam all the way around. I set my sewing machine to do a zigzag stitch because the fabric we are using is stretchy, and this way it will not rip when we try to put it on. And this is where my needle falls out.
Why did the needle fall out?
Anyways, without any further technical difficulties, I was able to sew all the way through, and it's time to move on to the next step. So here we are, we have our bottom stitch done, and now it's time to place our new pocket. So I'm making sure that I place it where it's just touching the top of the bottom seam, but it's not going over it just because I want to make sure there's enough room for our cord to go in later, and now I'm just pinning it to the front of the sweater. I stuck my hand in through the head hole just so I could make sure that I wasn't pinning the two sides together. And for the bottom seam of the pocket, we're just going to fold it under about 1 centimeter just to make it so that it doesn't have a raw edge and to make it look a little bit more professional. Back to the sewing machine, I'm just using a straight stitch here because you're a lot less likely to be stretching the pocket than the waistband. now that we have a new pocket and a new waist, it is time to make some stencils for our patterns. To make our stencils, we're going to be needing a big sheet of freezer paper with the waxy side down, and I'm going to freehand a couple of designs on it. Unfortunately, I lost the footage for that, but here is what they look like afterwards. So now we're going to want to place our stencils where we would like on our hoodie. I'm doing the two sides of the hood, and you want to make sure that it fits the way you want it to. And now we're just going to iron this down. When you iron it, the waxy side should stick to your garment and stay in place. So for the bleach solution, I'm just going to be using half bleach and half water. Now it's time to go outside and put on some gloves. I'm going to be placing the small piece of cardboard in between the two sides of fabric to make sure that no bleach leaks through. I've also grabbed a couple of paper towels just to blot away excess bleach. And now it is time for me to give you a little disclaimer. Since my hoodie was not 100% cotton, the bleach took a lot longer to activate, and this is what happened. So I sprayed the bleach, and I dabbed away the excess, and normally with 100% cotton you would see drastic color change right away, but I didn't, so I kept repeating the process, and I ended up saturating the paper so much that it actually concentrated all the bleach onto the outside of the stencil instead of the inside, and so I ended up with more of a bright flower shape than a sun. I repeated the same process on the moon side, and as you can see, it didn't work as well, but now I'm just adding some stardust all the way around. For this, I made the spray bottle spray out big globs of bleach instead of a light mist, just so it could be a lot more patchy and blotchy how I liked it. And that's pretty much it. So now that the hoodie is dry, we're going to be creating the cinched waist, and we will start this by cutting 2 holes right in the center of the front of the hoodie, and then we will be feeding through the cord. I apologize that this footage is a little bit fuzzy. I had previously been filming outside, and it's really cold outside right now, so when I brought it in, the lens started fogging up and I did not notice. So now we're going to take a piece of masking tape and a chopstick and tape it to our cord so that it will be a lot easier to feed it through the waist. So basically we are just pushing the chopstick through and then pulling the excess fabric back out until we get the chopstick to go all the way around the hoodie, and then we can pull it out and tie it off. Once you get the cord through, you're going to want to tie both ends in a little knot just to make sure that it doesn't get pulled back through into the hoodie. Just tie a little bow and you're done. So here's a little before shot of me dancing in the old hoodie, just so you can see what it looked like before we transformed it. And here's the final product. I'm really happy with how it came out, and even though my bleach designs didn't go exactly as planned, I still think they look pretty cool. I really hope you guys like this tutorial. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you want to see more stuff like this, and I would love to see some suggestions in the comments of what I should do next. And I'm just gonna dance it out.